The first thing my daughter noticed wasn't the flowers, it was the medals. She reached for the small ribbon on my dress uniform before I gently caught her hand. Not tonight, I whispered. She nodded, smoothing the front of her little blue dress instead. At 7, I already understood there were places where being quiet made life easier. My sister-in-law's engagement dinner was held at a country club my mother-in-law had wanted to use for years. Crystal glasses, polished silverware, expensive smiles. Everything looked carefully arranged, including the people. I had come straight from the base after a 12-hour shift as an army medic. I barely had time to change into my service uniform before picking up my daughter. My husband met us in the parking lot, glanced at my uniform and sighed. You couldn't wear something else? I came directly from work. He shrugged as if that answered everything. Inside, conversations paused for a heartbeat before continuing. My mother-in-law kissed everyone except me. She looked at my uniform with polite disappointment. You always do make an entrance. I wasn't trying to. I know. The words sounded kind. The tone wasn't. Dinner drifted from wedding plans to vacations, careers, and family stories. Whenever military life came up, someone joked about how I was married to the army. Nobody asked what I actually did. That was normal. People often thanked soldiers while forgetting medics existed. My daughter sat beside me, swinging her feet under the chair, coloring quietly on the back of a menu. Halfway through dinner, my mother-in-law stood with her champagne glass. I want to make a toast. Everyone smiled. To my beautiful future daughter-in-law, she beamed toward the bride-to-be. A woman every mother could be proud of. Applause followed. Then she turned toward me. And of course, she said with a smile sharp enough to cut paper, meet my daughter-in-law. She may wear the uniform. A few chuckles started. But honestly, she deserves someone she can actually be proud of. She looked directly at my little girl. As for this sweetheart, my daughter lowered her eyes. Perhaps she'll grow up to have a more normal life. Laughter rolled around the table. Even my husband laughed, not loudly, just enough. I didn't remember breathing after that. I reached beneath the table and squeezed my daughter's hand. She squeezed back. I wasn't angry. Not yet. Mostly I felt tired. Tired in the familiar way that comes from knowing strangers had trusted me with their lives, while some of my own family still thought my work was little more than camouflage and inconvenience. I remembered nights overseas when the only light came from burning vehicles, the smell of fuel, the weight of body armor soaked with someone else's blood, names I still carried, faces I never forgot. None of that fit neatly into conversations over roast chicken. The room settled again, servers cleared plates. Someone ordered dessert. Then I noticed the father of my sister-in-law's fiancé staring at me, not casually. Carefully, his forehead creased. He leaned forward. I'm sorry, the room quieted. Have we met? I don't think so. He kept looking, then his expression changed completely. No, he slowly stood. My God. Every conversation stopped. Aren't you? He swallowed. Army medic who pulled my son from that burning Humvee outside Kandahar? The room became perfectly still. I hadn't expected anyone here to know that story. I answered softly. Yes. His chair scraped backward. My son shouldn't be alive. He wasn't speaking to me anymore. He was speaking to everyone. The vehicle hit an explosive. His hands shook slightly. It caught fire before the others could get clear. He looked around the table. She went back. Nobody moved. The soldiers told us later they ordered everyone away because the ammunition was cooking off. He pointed toward me. She ignored them. I wished he wouldn't. Some memories are easier left where they belong, but he continued. She dragged my son out herself. His voice cracked. He lost a leg. A pause. But he lived. Silence filled every corner of the room. My grandson exists because she refused to leave my son behind. No one laughed now. Not even my husband. The man reached into his wallet. He unfolded an old photograph worn soft at the edges. My son keeps this. It showed a hospital bed, a young soldier, and me covered in soot, exhausted, trying not to smile. I've wanted to thank you properly for years. He crossed the room. Before I could stop him, he took my hand with both of his. You gave my family decades we never would have had. I didn't know what to say. You don't owe me thanks. I do. His voice was steady. Every birthday, every Christmas, every ordinary Tuesday with my son exists because of you. No one at the table looked at my uniform the same way again. My mother-in-law stared into her untouched champagne. The confidence she'd carried all evening simply disappeared. There was no dramatic apology, no sudden transformation, only discomfort, the kind that arrives when reality quietly replaces assumption. My daughter tugged gently on my sleeve. Were you really that brave? I smiled at her. No. I brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. I was just doing my job. The fiancé's father looked at her. You should be very proud of your mother. My little girl smiled in a way I hadn't seen all evening, small. Certain, when dinner ended, people spoke more softly than before. Several thanked me. A few avoided my eyes. My husband walked beside me to the parking lot. I'm sorry, he said after a long silence. I believed he meant it. I just wasn't sure that was enough. I buckled my daughter into her seat. As I closed the car door, she looked up at me. I liked hearing the real story better than Grandma's. I laughed quietly. So did I. Driving home, I realized something I should have understood years earlier. Recognition means the most when it comes from people whose lives you've actually touched. Everything else is only noise.